and welcome to the SP Show. My name is Tatton and oh my, step right. Oh my goodness, what a week. What a week. We've got to start in the House of Commons Wednesday PMQs. It was a massive Sass fest. Kemi Badu hasn't aced lots of things, but oh my goodness, she is smashing it when it comes to the sly smile. Listen, check this out.
Labour were congratulating themselves for having the first female Chancellor, instead of ensuring the country had someone actually qualified to do the job. The Prime Minister.
Did you see, as the Speaker called for quiet, her face? Damn. That's amazing. And Keir Starmer is a serious man. We've talked about that before. He's a serious man. But he is matching it face to face. He is getting it done. He is just letting it slide off him like water off a duck's back. Keir Starmer is the duck's back of prime ministers. Probably. After barrage from Kemi, look at this. Look at this.
Among that barrage of complete nonsense.
Nonsense. That's what he called it. Nonsense. With a little bit of a grin. With a little grin and a little chuckle to himself. Every week this is happening now. Every week they come and have a Sass fest. Is it really holding him to account? Is it really doing what the leader of the opposition might have done in the past? No. Is it great to watch? Oh, yeah, it is. Listen, I don't know if you're a fan of a newspaper called the Daily Mail, but the Daily Mail front page told us earlier this week there were 2 lame ducks. And it had a picture of Rachel Reeves and it had a picture of Tulip Sadiq. Tulip Sadiq resigned. And it's the headline the next day said, 1 lame duck down. Rachel Reeves is going to get fired. Rachel Reeves in real trouble. Oh, it's all going to happen to Rachel Reeves. Except, lovely people, it's not going to happen to Rachel Reeves.
Pleased to know the Chancellor will be in place for many, many years.
This is not a Prime Minister who's just going to wander around saying, oh, the gilt markets. We spoke about them last week. It was pretty cool. The gilt markets are a bit up or a bit down. Come to me, Chancellor woman. You are off. It's not how he's going to do it. Him and Rachel Reeves are a team. Those fiscal rules, they don't just belong to Rachel Reeves, they belong to Keir Starmer. He is going to stick by her through thick and through thin. And the market's going to go up and they're going to go down. The global factors, UK factors, whatever, they're going to go up and they're going to go down. And Rachel Reeves is going to stay in place. And you know what? The Daily Mail knows that. They're just being silly. They're just selling papers. Of course he's not going to fire her. This bit now, it's a little bit awkward. This is the bit where we do questions, but we haven't asked anyone for questions for like 2 months. I would like to tell you we don't have any questions. It does help if I ask for questions. Next week, we're gonna do this questions bit, but with actual questions rather than me filling time. Under here, like there's a bit where it's called the comments. And you, with your keyboard, can type in comments. We'll try and answer it next week, as long as it's not rude about me. That's not what it's for. It is how people use it sometimes, but it's not what it's for. Questions next week. Do you know how much Keir Starmer likes Zelensky over in Ukraine? I'll tell you how much he likes him. They have signed a document that means they will be friends for, get this, 100 years. It's a 100-year friendship between the UK and the Ukraine. 100 years. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Obviously, you can't tell what's going to be like in 5 years. The year will be 2125. And everyone will be like, woo! We don't have to be friends anymore. That was a tough 100 years that we've got through because two politicians signed a deal to be friends for 100 years. 100 years. I'm getting married this year. We're not going to be married for 100 years. I'm not going to live to 144. Oh, God, I've just told you how old I am. Hopefully, we'll be married for 60 years, maybe. Oh, God, 60 more years of life. Be a lot, wouldn't it? Why, then? Why? They know this. They know that they're not going to be friends for 100 years. They know it's a stupid thing to say. So why have they done it? It's about perception. It's to show everyone how committed we are to Ukraine. And it's perception because in America, things are changing. Donald Trump is going to be the president in like a few days. When that happens, there will be pressure on Ukraine to hand over some land to Russia so that we can end this war. And that's not what we want as a country. We say that bullies shouldn't be able to get what they want by being a bully. If someone bullies you and then you end up giving them a tenner, then they might bully you again, hoping for your tenner again. Maybe even 20 quid next time. Hand over plenty of land to Putin. Oh, you've invaded our country, here, have some money. That's not going to be great. He's going to come back for more money, more land. So what we're saying is we'll always stand by Ukraine. Could we have done it for 50 years? Probably. Would it have made a difference if it was 20 years and it just said we're going to outstretch Donald Trump 4 years and then we're out? And we'll still be friends. But they've gone for 100 because it's about perception. It's about how we feel. And we see this everywhere. The opposition parties are trying to build a narrative, a perception that Keir Starmer's doing very, very badly indeed. And listen, he might be doing very badly. You can talk, I mean, the whole list. You've got winter fuel payments, you've got 2-child benefit cap, you've got farmers, you've got national insurance, you've got all of these factors, the markets going, you can look at all of those things and say it's going badly for Labour. But you can also look at the renters' rights they're bringing in. You can look at closing the Bibby Stockholm that drove more than one asylum seeker to suicide. The Labour Party are doing what the Labour Party wants to do. They're getting on with delivering the missions they're talking about. It's not all going smoothly, but it's all about perception. And I don't think this Labour government are very good at managing perceptions. I think that they've allowed this narrative that they're doing really badly to take off. They've allowed Nigel Farage, Kemi Badenoch to really paint them in a light that they're doing terribly. And you look at the polls, Reform are like 2 points off Labour in the polls. They're way ahead of the Conservatives in the polls. Everyone says that there's massive negativity. People feel really hostile towards this Labour government, and yet they duke it out. They say that before the next election, people will feel they have more money in their pockets. Before the next election, 4 years away. We've got 4 years of this perception. If people feel better off, the perception will change. What matters is what we want. Do we want politics based on perception, or do we want to step back and look at policy and changes? And that's a harder question than it first sounds, because maybe it's impossible to step back away from perception. And opposition parties can't do their policies because they're not in power. So all they've got is perception. To counter that, you need to see a lot of what the government is doing. And maybe we're not seeing that. Maybe that's the problem. Let's see what happens next. And that is the end of the episode. Now, before you go, there is a subscribe button here. Click it. A, you get the show every week, which is obviously brilliant. But B, you really help us out by subscribing. So click the bell, subscribe, come back. We'll all hang out all over again. Love you, bye.